Minnesota Wild back at it tonight. They host the Winnipeg Jets, returning home after a four-game road trip. The Wild getting that blowout in Boston, 4-0 at the hands of the Bruins on Tuesday evening after some weary travel problems and not making it to their Boston hotel until 3 a.m. But Wild opening up a crucial stretch, 8 games in 14 nights. As you will see later today on Zone Coverage, I wrote about how this is an incredibly crucial stretch for the Wild and their playoff chase. Obviously, if they can have a very successful stretch going into the All-Star break, they're not going to be in a disadvantageous position coming out of it. You don't want to be, in a spot where you have to claw your way back into the wild card race. Coming out of that All-Star break, that's just a very daunting task in this league. So the Wild really need to get some wins during this stretch. And again, it starts tonight against Winnipeg, a team they've played very well this season. The Wild have won both meetings against the Jets. They've outscored them 7-3. They've, especially in that last meeting a couple weeks ago, which actually really has kind of turned the tide here on this season, because the Wild were not playing well going into that game. The Wild played a very much more defensively minded, structured game. They got some key goals from Eric Ferrer, and it was Zach Parise, I believe. Oh, I'm sorry, Matt Bartkowski started the goal scoring. How can we forget Bart? And then Zach Parise. Eric Ferrer had the empty net goal. But anyway, that was a very good defensively structured win for the Minnesota Wild on the road. They need to emulate that again this evening against the Winnipeg Jets. They're very good offensively still, even though they are without Nick Ehlers at forward and Dustin Byfuglien, who suffered an injury in that game against the Jets on the back end. So don't have to worry about any buff body slams tonight. But the key is, again, as I said, is a big picture. The Wild have to start picking up some wins here in this 8-game stretch. And again, tonight, the worry is, tonight they start at home. They typically you kind of see some struggles when teams come home from kind of longer road trips. In that first game, they got kind of other things they worry about when they get back home. Especially with an older team like this that has a lot of kids. So hockey not necessarily at the front of the mind when they return home from a road trip, but the Wild need to stick to their game plan, and of course needing sharp goaltending from Devin Dubnyk, who again has been very good here in the last 2-3 weeks for Minnesota. And so that essentially is kind of what the Wild need to do tonight. They need sharp defensively, sharp in goal, and they need some timely goal scoring, because the Jets are starting a pair of back-to-backs tonight, and Connor Hellebuck will get the starting goal, and he of course is very good. A noted snub for the NHL All-Star game, as one Mr. Dubnyk seems to have taken his place from him. But I digress. So that is what kind of looking for here tonight. Should be a fun and exciting matchup as always against the Jets. Do again check out zonecoverage.com/wild for some great hashtag content, as we will have just about all kinds of readings for you to gear up for tonight's game. And then if you have not, check out the last episode of the Giles and the Goalie Podcast, episode 176. Very heated. Giles Farrell was on that podcast at some topic. So that will do it for me, as the dog is telling me it's time for me to do something. So we will chat with you after the game. Later.